and Stuttering John were in Atlantic City this weekend.
Yes.
Flunky.
They were at the Taj Mahal?
Yeah. I don't know where they were. They were doing some traveling show. This is what's going to happen in November, I've decided. Me and you are going to do the radio show. Mm-hmm. If I go back into radio. I'm going to get rid of everyone else.
We're going to
Except for
clean
Fred.
house.
I got to keep Fred because I promised him.
You don't even have to say that. Fred's not going to leave.
Yeah, Fred wouldn't go anywhere. I'm getting rid of Jackie. I'm getting rid of Stuttering John. I'm getting rid of Gary. I'm getting rid of everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just going to clean out the whole place.
Gary, too?
Everyone.
Wow.
I'm just going to get rid of everyone. I want to have a simple life again.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go on the air and talk. Mm-hmm. I turn on my TV and let me see. Who is on the phone?
The limo driver for
Is this Tom?
Dominic Barbara?
Tom? Is this Tom?
Yes, it is, Howard.
Oh, hey, Tom. How you doing? Hold on one
Good, how are
second.
you?
Yeah, I'm just rapping. Let me rap.
All right, go ahead.
No, because I was thinking about it. Like, I turn on the TV the other day, and I see Stuttering John on Ricky Lake, because Ganji comes running in and goes, Stuttering John's on Ricky Lake. And I tune in, and they're using John in this weird way. It's sort of like when Letterman used to have Larry Bud Melman on, and it was funny?
Yeah.
And now he's on everything, and it's not funny. And
I don't even want to see him.
And those TV commercials they put him in are not funny. And what happens
Letterman
is...
won't use him anymore.
Yeah, you don't see him on Letterman. And now I know why. I mean, because, quite frankly, it's not funny. It's not exclusive to his show.
Right.
And I love Stuttering John. And I'd love to see him do well and everything. But Ricky Lake isn't really paying him. And he's not out promoting anything. And he doesn't seem to care what people do to him or what they put him in.
Yeah,
He doesn't care. He has no pride whatsoever. He'll do anything. So they put him in a judge's robe. And I guess he's sort of like, I don't think Stuttering John's actually worked out a persona on TV. So he's kind of like acts like me. Mm. Like he does a lot of what I do. But it's not funny. They use Stuttering John in an unfunny way. And I'm sitting there watching it and I go, ugh, I hate this guy. Why? I don't want him on my show.
Well, he told me, I'm going to be on Ricky Lake. And I said, I already know what you're doing.
Yeah,
they do that with everybody. They turn them into bozos.
Yeah, you're going to make a fool out of yourself. And then for a while, Stuttering John did this show, Last Call. And I refused to talk about it on the air because, quite frankly, what they're doing is, since I won't be on Last Call, they'll take one of my people and hope that I'll talk about it ad nauseum and propel it to a #1 slot.
Right.
And I don't want to get sucked into that. I mean, can you blame me? First of all, I'm embarrassed by what John's doing. And John's on the air pretending to be Howard. And he's making a fool out of himself, and he looks stupid. And I don't want to certainly promote it. So now John's off the show, and the show looks like it's going to be canceled. But it was.
He got thrown off?
Yeah, he got thrown off because he
That's
sucked.
Pretty pitiful.
But it wasn't even that he sucked. They don't know how to use John. I mean,
I was going to say it's just a bad show.
John has no noticeable talent. I mean, John is not talented. I hate to break it to him. He's not talented. He's a robot. Jackie and Fred and me write him questions. Jackie sits back there with Fred.
He needs to be programmed.
Yeah. John's funny if Jackie writes something for him or Fred writes something for him.
John is like an actor.
Right.
If he doesn't have anything written for him, he has nothing to say.
Yeah. And unlike an actor who actually has an ability to portray a character, John
can only do John.
Yeah. So that's the assessment of John's talents.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
So, quite frankly, what's happening now in my career is because I don't go out and do a lot of dumb stuff. Like I won't go out and do supermarket promotions, and I won't go out and act in bad TV shows and stuff like that because I have some pride. What's happened is they figured out that if they, like Playboy just hired Amy and Tempest to be naked in the magazine.
Right.
And I'm sure everyone expects them to come in here and promote the thing ad nauseum, but these are people that I created. And once I create them, it turns into my worst nightmare because people take them and use them in unfunny ways.
Well, it's interesting because that's supposed to be the women of radio.
Yeah. So in other words,
Amy and Tempest.
Let's not pay Howard. Let's take elements of his show, make them unfunny, rip it off, and make it bad.
But we can use Howard to promote it.
Yeah. Let's use Howard. Let's use Howard. So it's real weird, and I hate talking to the guys about it because they think I'm trying to keep money out of their lives or something, and I'm not. I don't care. I mean, you do what you want, but in the case of the Ricky Lake show, for God's sakes.
That wasn't even money.
Yeah, what are you doing? Why are you acting like a jackass? I mean, not even a funny jackass. So anyway, so the latest gimmick on how to take advantage of Howard was, I guess Jackie got booked into Atlantic City. Somebody there must have gotten nervous, and they booked...
Caesars.
Oh, was it Caesars?
Right.
Oh, okay.
It was Caesars.
Right.
Oh.
Was it Caesars?
Taj Mahal, I should say.
Oh,
It's in
Taj
the
Mahal.
Taj.
Oh, the Taj Mahal.
Right.
Tom, you all right, man?
I'm fine.
You sure you saw the right show?
I saw the show, Robin. I saw it.
It sobered you up. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Well, anyway, so they figured out that, like, hello, Tom?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So since they, I don't know what's going on. I don't really pay much attention. But the latest thing was, hey, so Jackie was going to do a show. I guess somebody there must have gotten nervous. Is this pretty much the way it happened, Jackie?
I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, I guess somebody got nervous that maybe Jackie couldn't sell out the place or something.
No,
and then
you got it backwards.
Oh, I do?
Well, what happened was this guy was trying to put together this tour of...
Yeah, I knew
Howard
that this
Stern
was
thing,
what this was.
And I stayed away from it.
Right.
But the one I agreed to do was Atlantic City because I wanted to work in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was all done at once, as to the best of my knowledge.
Some guy had figured out, hey, I'll just book everyone from the Howard Stern show. And we'll get Elephant Boy, we'll get Jackie, we'll get Gary, we'll get Stuttering John, and we'll make it like the traveling
I
Howard.
basically told him I didn't care what happened as long as I got the money that I normally get for doing a show. I didn't care what went on around me because I wanted to work at Atlantic City.
Well, that's
that
my
was
problem.
tack.
I care what goes on around me, and I care how this show is presented. See, that's my problem. I care about the show. Some guy had this brainy idea that he was going to do Friends of the Howard Stern Show tour. So, in other words, they were going to use my name, get everyone that I've developed. Even Gary. The reason Gary is people want to see him is because of what I do with him. Mm-hmm. They're going to get all these people together, put no thought into what was going to go. It was going to be a bad show. They're going to rip people off.
And they're going to blame you.
And they're going to blame me.
And if you ever should want to do a show, that'll already be stuck in some people's minds that the last time they went to the Howard Stern show, it was a ripoff.
Right. And apparently what happens is Gary goes out there first. This show in Atlantic City, Gary goes out there first.
Right, his mom comes out first.
Yeah, his mom. Okay? Now, Gary is a guy that basically has nothing to do. He has nothing to do. And Gary's going to come out first, make a total jackass out of himself, and people are going to be sitting there. He doesn't put any thought into what he's going to say. He doesn't put any thought into what the production's going to be. Nobody has an overall concept for this.
They introduced Gorilla and showed his head.
Yeah. I mean, what is that? So, whenever I did a tape or I used Gary, I try to put him in an interest. I try to show him in an interesting light. I put some thought into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring Gary out. But there's no thought put into Gary. He just goes out there and people get ripped off. What'd they charge? $28.50?
$28.50. He yelled at the audience a little bit. Came out, a quick few yells because everybody was yelling Baba Booey at him.
Well, Dominic told me he went, and he said he walked out. Gary walks out. First of all, Gary's backstage. He's like hyperventilating, and he's like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. Meanwhile, he's ready for what? He's not going to do anything. All he's doing
I would be nervous, too, if I had nothing to do on stage.
Yeah, evidently. Yeah, right. He's like, okay. And his mother's following around. He goes to his mother, okay, I'm ready. And evidently, the person in charge is Gary. He seems to be the one in charge of this.
Oh, no.
And he's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to perform. And I told Gary I don't want him a part of any of this crap. If Gary wants to go appear somewhere by himself and go down and do an appearance, fine.
Sign some autographs or just be there where there's an opening or something.
And by the way, Gary just went ahead and did this without my permission.
He never talked to you about this whole
he
tour
did.
thing.
He talked to me about the tour thing. I told him not to do it, and he just went out and did it anyway.
You're kidding.
No. Went out and did it.
I had no idea you were
went out and did it. What did I tell you about Friends of the Howard Stern Show?
It's not entirely
What
true.
did I tell you about?
No, Howard, it's not entirely true.
I know, I'm crazy.
No, I'm not telling you you're crazy. We spoke about this. We had already signed to do this. This is the last one, and this was the one we were signed to do from like almost Christmas time, and this was the end of it. First of all, Dominic, let me tell you something. Dominic saw me for, in total, no joking around, 20 to 30 seconds.
Okay.
Dominic just said he went backstage.
No,
Gary was like this.
Dominic's a guy who is dying to get on the air.
I don't know.
Dying
He
to be
called me. He
mentioned.
said Gary sat back there and he goes, "Okay,
But just nothing like that happened.
okay, I'm ready."
I never said that.
I don't know.
Nothing like that
Jackie's
ever
laughing.
happened.
I got a feeling it happened.
No, I'm laughing at the whole situation because
Right.
I know that nothing true is going to come over the air, but the whole thing.
Oh
is
no,
pretty
everything
funny anyway.
true. Believe me. Let me tell
Dominic
you.
was
You'll
not
tell me.
near the stage.
No, here's the truth. I'll give you the truth. So,
Well, what happened?
Dominic was near the stage.
Yeah, Dominic sat there. Dominic was
Dominic was 2 tables to the left.
I thought you said Dominic saw Gary backstage.
Well, yeah, he saw him backstage before the show.
He was there for maybe 20 seconds.
Down-
I'm joking.
and that
He
was
said he saw
downstairs.
enough. He said he was backstage and he saw Gary like hyperventilating and going, "Okay, I'm ready. So when he goes out, he starts yelling into the microphone, Gary.
Oh.
He has nothing to say. He told a joke, evidently, and screamed into the microphone. That's why he never has a voice when he does an appearance.
That was a bad joke.
And so give me a review of the show. What did you see? You're a member of the audience who paid $28.50.
Well, this is how it started. Like I said, Gary comes out and starts with his joke, which was terrible. He told a joke. It was horrible.
Friends of the Howard Stern Show. Go
Then
ahead.
he introduces Gorilla to show off his head.
Yeah, and of course he has nothing to say to him, right?
Of course not. Oh, look what he got for $4,000. They take off his do-rag to show his head. That was it. Then they sent Gorilla off. And now who comes on next? John.
Now, I understand there was like a big fight backstage. Jackie was insisting that John go on first. There was a whole big fight. That was like a big, huge fight going on backstage.
Who goes first?
Yeah, that was. This is how much thought was put into it.
I don't think you wanted John going first.
Well, go ahead. Let me hear what happened next.
All right, so Gary introduces John. John comes out to do what you think is maybe 2 or 3 songs. He comes out doing about 10, the volume that Leslie West has.
Right.
You cannot even, your ears are throbbing. We're in the second row. We could not take the sound anymore. And he's halfway through his hit song. He's not up to the lawn part, and we're ready to go.
He's chasing off the audience.
Before he was getting off his lawn, everyone was getting off their chair.
Getting out of the room.
And it was so loud, your ears were throbbing. And we were in the second row. We were right in front of him. We couldn't have been any closer. It was just unbelievable. It was so you could not hear one word John said.
And
not
meanwhile, people have paid. There's 3,000 people or something who have paid $28.50.
And they were all chanting. So he goes through the first 2 songs.
And people are what, booing?
People are booing, yelling, Jackie, we want Jackie.
Oh.
But he answered that very nicely. Every time someone would yell, he'd go, I got to do more songs, man, and then he'll be right on. Don't worry. He had to do that twice to calm the crowd down.
Now, would you keep playing if people were saying?
No, I would say maybe it's time to leave.
Yeah, I'll take that as a cue to rap.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 people who were left in the audience screaming.
And then he did 4 more after that, with people still yelling.
Right.
So,
and what is Gary's mother comes out and introduces?
That was just a quick 2-second thing. She walks out on
Why
the
would
stage
somebody
and
want to
just
pay?
says, I want to introduce my son, Baba Booey.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. What is that all about?
Well, he's got more of an act than Gary.
I was on the side of the stage, the promoter was nowhere in sight. We're trying to figure out. I thought I should have gone on first because the music was going to be very loud.
Right.
So it made much more sense to me for the comedian to be on and then the loud music.
Right.
But John was nervous, and so I wound up saying, just go ahead.
Well, Dominic told me that half the audience must have split during John's stuff because Dominic told me he had to leave, and then he came back to see Jackie.
A lot of people got up out. Anybody close that wasn't really right, you had to get up because it was vibrating off your head.
You know what it is? It's a high school talent night.
Yes.
Come on, it's a high school.
Did anybody leave?
No, nobody left, but a couple people were screaming Jackie.
It's funny because that's also what I picture.
You know what? I'll tell you, it shouldn't have been the band because it wasn't set up that way. It was just set up for a comedy.
John, there's no way he could win.
It's a high school talent night, and it's 20. Gary goes out there, doesn't put an ounce of thought into it. If I was going to produce the show, I'd have Gary do something. I'd have him do something. I don't know what it is, but I'd have him do something.
Well,
I'd have him come out. I'd let him do the Dick Shawn routine, come out and vomit on the stage. I don't care what it is, but at least do something.
Well, it seemed like they just brought Gary out just to introduce him, but you know what even stranger is? When you come in, before you get into the club, they're not selling Jackie stuff, they're selling Baba Booey stuff. You can't buy a Jackie thing, and he's the act. They're selling Baba Booey T-shirts. It made absolutely no sense. Who's going to buy a Baba Booey T-shirt when you're there to see Jackie?
I don't know, but all I know is I told Gary I didn't want them doing any of this crap. I don't want any of this.
I don't understand. Gary says
I created a monster.
Was booked before you said no. I don't.
Yeah, I don't care what it is. Tell the guy you're sick. Tell him you can't do it. Tell him your boss said no.
But it sounds like you never heard about it before they started booking things.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. They were going to do a 6-city tour or something, and I just said no dice.
No. What I'm saying is nobody came to you and said, "What do you think of us doing a tour?"
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I found out about it. That's exactly how everything's done behind my back.
All right.
As if I don't put any thought into the show. But I'll tell you something, Gary. Here, mark my words, come November, I'm going back to my simple radio career. I'm downsizing. I'm getting rid of everybody. Tired of leeches.
Well,
give me the rest of the review. Give me the rest of the review.
Can I just say one thing, Howard?
Yeah.
Isn't an MC supposed to introduce the people?
I don't know, man, but all I know is to have friends of the Howard Stern Show go to Atlantic City, charge my audience $28.50, and you put zero thought into it.
It wasn't advertised.
And John's up there for 45 minutes blowing people's brains out.
45 minutes.
Let me ask you, if John is an interesting element of my show because I've made him interesting, John is a nobody. Let me take you back. Let me take you back 100 steps. John is a nobody. He's nobody. He's absolutely nobody. He has no talent. He has nothing. We take him and we make him interesting and funny. You are even more of a nobody. You're no one.
True.
You're a guy who helps me out in the office. I put you on the air and I created something with you. If I do that, and then you have a little nice side business. You go out, you make appearances, you sign things, you have a T-shirt, whatever. You do that. That's a fun thing to do and make additional income. But you're nobody. You're off this show. You're no one again.
True.
There's no T-shirt. There's no autograph. There's nothing.
One T-shirt was bought that I saw.
All right, so...
Oh, well, so then you know the whole tally for the night, then.
That was the tally?
Yeah, that was the tally. Now go back behind your wheel.
Why, what's wrong with what Tom's saying? He was sitting in the audience.
He doesn't know.
He's letting you know.
I was
Tom
standing
doesn't
right
know.
there.
He's just giving you a review of the show.
I can tell you how many were sold, but Tom doesn't know. So it would be wrong of Tom to say...
So understand my point about this show, which you don't understand. No, you don't understand my point about this show. Everything I've worked for on this show is to present to the audience an interesting characterization of all you guys. Of everyone. Every one of you. And in one night, you go out for $28.50, and suddenly now it's the Friends of the Howard Stern Show because some jackass wants to make money off of my name. Some guy I don't even know, some promoter who decides, hey, I got an idea. Who needs Howard?
Thank goodness the room only held 3,000.
Yeah, I'll take every element of Howard's show, put it onto a show, and we'll call it Friends of the Howard Stern Show, and who cares if people feel ripped off?
Robin, it wasn't 3,000, but far be it for me to...
Whatever. I don't know how many people were there.
Whatever.
Whether there were 12 people or 3 million people.
It was 90. It was at least 90% full. Almost every seat was taken, except for way in the back.
And no production values. The
taken.
show isn't produced. There's no thought to it. Jackie's screaming 10 minutes before the show he should be out first. John's screaming at Jackie that he should be out first.
Yes.
Jackie should go do his show. You should do your show. And John should do his show. And quite frankly, I'm not reading any more plugs. Jackie's I read because it's part of the way he gets paid. I'm done with all the plugs.
Then
I'm
the
being
bikini
abused.
contest was after that.
Oh, the bikini contest. It sounds like a madhouse. It sounds like a madhouse in my name.
And then John came back again.
Oh, John came back after Jackie.
I wasn't around for that, but I heard he came back.
How long a show was this? 12 hours?
Well, Jackie was still on doing Stump the Joke Man. That started at 10 o'clock. So that was after an hour. We were still just at Stump the Joke Man.
And then I heard at some point Jackie started yelling at the audience was so out of control that Jackie was yelling at the audience, telling them, "Hey, you're the suckers, not me. F you."
Yeah, he was the angry comedian after about halfway through.
Did the exact same act I do everywhere I've ever done in my life.
Evidently, he was yelling at the audience, "F you! I got your money. You're the suckers."
That was pretty good, though.
The angry comic.
I say that every night.
F you!
Stump the audience.
Stump the audience.
I say, I got you dough.
Yeah, not one person had a good joke. But the hecklers, Jackie screams at these hecklers instead of just not even saying anything.
Evidently, Jackie got into an argument with one of the audience, and it got down to like, "F you, eat me." It was like, evidently, it was like,
"You want to smell your sister?"
Evidently, he started yelling at some bald guy in the front row, and the guy evidently was all shook up because Jackie started like, "F you."
You want to know
it was
exactly?
real anger.
You want to hear the
berating him.
I said something to the bald guy in the front, and he looked up and he said, "I can't hear a word you're saying. I'm deaf from John's crap."
Yeah.
I sort of got.
Well, why don't you care how you're presented? I don't understand you. What is your story?
See, it was a no-win situation for me.
It's a no-win situation for me, Jackie.
Okay. I told John it makes no sense for the comedy and whatever else follows to follow the loud rock and roll. And he didn't want to listen, and he pouted, and I just gave in because I figured...
What do I need this for?
I was going to hear about it either way. And the way it was just presented now was that I screamed that I wanted to go on last. I didn't want to go on last. I wanted to go on first because it's one guy talking as opposed to a whole monstrous thing.
I don't know, but evidently... I don't know. Jackie went out there. He was yelling at the crowd.
I did exactly the show that I always do.
Well, good luck.
No, he attacked some poor old man, and besides the ball guy, there was this great father.
Hey, Tom, how come
why can't he give a review?
How come you're doing a review instead of Dominic? Is he working your head?
Dominic's afraid to.
No,
Dominic called me.
Because Dominic couldn't get on and lie.
No, here's what happened.
There's nothing to lie.
Dominic called me up and was almost in tears laughing. He said he left. He said he left at some point.
Dear.
I don't know. He got up and left. He said it was unbelievable. He said it was amateur hour.
He left about 5 minutes before Jackie did the Dominic joke, which nobody knew what he was talking about. We still didn't know.
I don't know what was going on in Atlantic City, but it was
why don't you say
Friends of the Howard Stern Show.
Wait,
Tom,
Howard,
why don't you
let's
say
go
the
back.
joke, Tom?
Jackie was actually good, Howard.
Yeah.
The beginning of the show, I thought the first half of the show, he was very funny. But how many rear end jokes can you hear? You know?
How many what?
Rear end jokes?
Yeah, how many ass jokes can you hear? How many clocks? I mean, how many of the same thing can you hear?
Tom, you should have been in the show. You're funny.
Especially after you've been, blasted by Stuttering John for 2 hours.
Oh, forget it.
I don't know what's going on out there.
All you wanted to hear was a low voice.
Yeah, just somebody. You go and play craps.
And then about halfway through the show, Jackie has to flip his tape. So it's the funniest thing. Like, he stops the show and goes over and flips his tape.
Come on, are you kidding?
It's hysterical.
I'll be right with you.
Is anybody watching the tape? Is it time to flip it?
What, does he have a little cassette
He has a little
recorder
cassette,
on stage?
Yeah, right where the drums would be. He keeps his water and his little tape recorder, and then he flips the tape over.
Hey, you know what? Stay home.
What do you mean?
There he goes.
But he went to see the Friends of the Howard Stern Show.
I don't even know where you got that name.
Oh, ask Gary all about it. I know all about it.
No,
See, I know about it.
It wasn't even billed to that. I think it was billed just Jackie.
After I blew
Stern Show, but in very small letters on the marquee it said "From the Howard Stern Show," but everything else was Jackie's name.
Yeah, well, no. After I flipped my lid, that's what happened.
Yeah, you're getting it backwards, Tom. Stay with the program.
No. He's not getting anything backwards. The reason it wasn't called Friends of the Howard Stern Show is I flipped my lid about a month and a half ago. I just freaked. I freaked out on Baba Fooey and his. Baba Fooey found a manager who's now sitting and dreaming up ways to rip my name off.
Trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah. Friends of the Howard Stern Show. Gavones.
Jackie was funny, though. I really think
Well, Jackie should go out and do his show and worry about how he's presented. What are you having Stuttering John blasting away for 12 hours?
That ruined the show.
What kind of comic are you?
It ruined the show because it started out when you just, get him off the stage. And people are yelling, Jackie, we want Jackie, every 2 seconds.
Yeah, Jackie.
He's guzzling beers. John comes out, he tells horrible jokes, and guzzles beers. That's it.
All right. Thanks for the review.
Okay.
The reason Dominic won't call in, he said he's afraid to do it.
He can't.
I wish he would call in. Dominic had me laughing. I mean, as I was crying.
So there was laughter in your tears.
Dominic said he was out of there. He couldn't even sit
Couldn't
through
take it.
No, couldn't take it. He said, but Gary was funny because he was like, okay, I'm ready.
He has people working on it.
Yeah, like he's pacing and he's ready. And Dominic goes, what are you ready for?
Opening night jitters.
Yeah, opening night jitters. And he gets out and he evidently yells into the microphone. I don't know, what is he goes, everybody, Baba Booey. That's like a big embarrassment. It's a big embarrassing show. No thought put into it. $28.50.
People have to drive a few miles to get there.
And I mean, the guy who's putting this all together and who was evidently going to put it together in 6 different states,
This
he
is
doesn't
the
care.
end, right?
Yeah, well, he doesn't care. He's going to make a quick buck.
Well, yeah,
I care.
of
It's my
course.
name. Oh, I blew my load. You don't even know about any of this. This was going on a month and a half ago.
No. I remember when I saw, I picked up some magazine and saw Friends of the Howard Stern Show tour. And I said, what is this?
And then what they do is they take a guy like Elephant Boy, again, who's another nobody.
Yeah, what does he do?
But it doesn't matter. What they were planning to do is just take anybody that I've made funny and take them around the country and make them unfunny.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to, like, be happy about it, I guess. At some point, I got to stop being such a good guy and bust some balls, you know? I just got nuts from it. Because usually I'm like kind of like, hey, I want the guys to go out and make some money. But at some point, when do I stop getting abused? I'm like the battered wife. You know?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there taking it. I'm sitting there going, what the hell is going on? Well, you don't think I could put together a Friends of the Howard Stern tour and send these guys out? I mean...
And it would be written, and there'd be things to do, and there'd be some organization.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Fafafui going out and yelling into the microphone, and then John playing for 2 hours, and Jackie somehow getting on there, and it's a 9-hour Friends of the Howard Stern, and then there's some beauty pageant in between. And John going on all these unfunny shows and just looking like a douche. Can't go, well, Gorilla, you're the new interviewer on the show. Gorilla, you are now in charge of interviews.
How could they go out and do a pageant? It wasn't a pageant.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Jackie, what was it? What was the beauty part of the show?
It's my fault for not checking into this whole thing. I had no idea, really. I thought the whole thing was put together, and I was just going to be told when to go on. And
do me a favor.
More disorganized than I thought. I've always just done my own show.
Yeah,
and
do your show.
My guns,
yeah,
you know.
Good man. That's it. I don't begrudge it. You know,
but I wanted to work at Atlantic City. You know, I took it because I was going to be with those guys. I thought.
But when during your plug, do we have to mention John and Gary? I know there's some kind of contractual thing here between us, but you know, do we have to?
I just put them in because I figured they would have their separate.
Yeah, do me a favor.
So
don't do it anymore. Do me a favor. I'm more than happy to plug you. Just do your own thing. Jesus Christ! If some fiasco went on in Atlantic City, I'm sitting and listening to this, going out of my mind.
That's
2850. Here's some kind of crappy. I don't know. Call me up with a review of the show. Let me know what's going on. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe people like hearing Baba Booey yell into a microphone and John blasting away for 2 hours.
The wall of sound.
Finally, to get the comic to come on. And Jackie can't even argue with Stuttering John. He's so out of control. You think, Jackie, you would be able to just say, hey, John, you're going on last.
Step back.
You know, they say, all right, you've been in this the longest, you know, you should have your opinion. What's your opinion? I said, my opinion is the comedian goes on first and the music goes on second.
Right.
And he didn't want to hear it. So it was like,
I heard it was a big argument.
It started on Friday. Not an argument. It was just like he insisted on going on first.
Wow. I can't believe you lost that one.
Well, you know. Then we would have been in here today, and everybody would have been crying that I pulled rank or something.
Well, maybe it's time you did.
I didn't figure I could win either way.
Well, you expect to go out again, don't you?
I think I will, yeah.
Well, I think I'd have pulled rank.
Yeah.
I don't care what would have taken.
Then why would you want to alienate fans?
You're a professional.
Right. Sort of.
Well.
More professional than John and Gary, anyway.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know.
Dominic's on the phone.
Oh, here. Hey, Dominic.
You out of here with Gary just did. He threatened me on the phone.
What did he say?
Ask him.
Tell me what happened when you were backstage.
Wait, bring Gary in.
All right, Gary, come in here.
Gary's fighting mad.
Mr. Funny Bone. Come on in, funny boy.
I made a weight joke.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You're angry with me. You shouldn't be angry with me.
So what happened? Nobody should be angry at you.
Dominic, tell me what happened in Atlantic City.
I'll tell you who I felt sorry for. You ready?
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Jackie. Because when Jackie comes out, if Jackie wanted to be funny, he could be very funny. But what he didn't realize was he goes halfway into his show, the audience is exhausted. They're exhausted from the music because the music was blasting.
Wait, hold on. Dominic.
Yeah.
I thought you left for all of John's show, so how could you be exhausted?
He came back.
I'm not talking about me. I walked right out.
So how do you know how everyone else
walked out?
Oh, please. You know what? The answer to all this is not me, because I'm obviously, you all think I'm biased for Howard.
Well, we know you are.
He went to see, Gary, he went to see the show. How many reviews do you have to get before you know? Here's a guy's review. You think he's being dishonest?
To some degree, but not
Tell me your
entirely.
review of the show.
What I think you should do is get other people to call in. But here's the first problem. There was obviously no sound check before you started. So that John's music was just not even, you couldn't hear it. It was blasting. So that everyone was kind of like numb. So when Jackie comes out, 20 minutes was very good. Everyone was getting into it. It was Jackie stuff.
Yeah.
Then the audience got tired. Jackie got angry. They got angry, and then just lost it.
And what happened? Jackie started yelling at people?
Well, yeah, because what happens is
Dominic.
Let him finish. I want to hear his review.
But that's not what happened, Dominic.
Well, he's in the audience. He's telling you what happened from his point of view, not from yours.
Yeah, because I think when Jackie starts fighting with the audience and they start fighting with him, he loses what's going on. Because Jackie knows more jokes than any human being alive. He can really get you going. And I was really laughing hard in the beginning. But then it started to degenerate and get like, it was no organization. It wasn't a show. If the comedian had come on first and got everyone laughing, it could have gone, I think, in the right direction. But I have a question for the whole group. Did anyone do any sound check plans before the show started?
Yes, they did.
They did?
Yeah, and the guy Jake Thomas that plays piano with me said it's so loud that it's going to blow the people out of their seats. What are you going to do? You going to go tell John not to play so loud?
Of course you do. I would.
It's not my job.
I certainly would have gone on first if I knew that information.
You're
and
not
I was
kidding.
Jackie.
Jackie, did he really tell you it's too loud?
Jake was there for the sound check, and he said it was so loud. And I said, I've been in this a long time. You don't tell rock musicians to turn it down. They turn it up.
But this is John.
This is Stuttering John.
This is Aerosmith.
Yeah. John thinks he's Aerosmith.
You've all tried to talk to Stuttering John.
Everyone we were like numb from it. I did walk out and go shoot dice until
Yeah, well, I'm putting a stop to this nonsense. I'm tired of everyone using characters that I've developed and taking them and ruining them. I resent it. Thank you.
I don't know if Johnny Carson was...
What happened when you were backstage with Gary? Tell that.
Well, no, when I went back, everyone was pumped up. It was like...
Yeah, what would happen when Gary was like...
Well, Gary thinks that I was only there for 2 seconds, but I actually stood over on the side waiting for him to go on. He was really excited, and I think he does have a persona that could be great, but I don't think there was any plan.
Why don't you tell me what you... all right, thank you, Dominic.
He won't be
He was vicious yesterday on the phone and funny, and now he's a big bore.
No, I love Gary. Don't get me...
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Dominic, I wish I had taped Dominic's phone call yesterday. I'm sitting at home on a Sunday trying to relax. He got me so wound up.
Oh.
I was ready to come in here and start the show. I was out of my friggin' mind. It was some kind of fiasco down there in Atlantic City.
What did Jackie think of the whole
Jackie
thing?
is unconscious.
He never
he
said
could care
anything
less.
to you?
He collected the money.
Never said anything.
Gary's telling me last night on the phone, oh, it was great. We had a great time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, great time ripping off my audience.
Did Gary stay for the whole show, or did he just come out and scream?
He would scream in between everything.
Oh.
And I'm supposed to be happy about it. I'm a bad guy because I'm not happy about it.
And he conducts this whole contest with girls or something, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. And Gary evidently yells, into the microphone. No one can hear anything. It's a fiasco. And evidently they were going to throw Elephant Boy and everyone else in there. So we'll make everyone on the show.
There.
So they'll make everyone on the show unfunny. Gorillo is my new interviewer. And Gary, I don't know what he is. Mr. Sneaky with his management team. He better fire his management team. That's what he better do before he's out of here. And then his management team will have nothing to manage. Manager. He's got a manager, Baba Booey.
So far, he's only managed to piss you off.
Yeah, and Jackie's always, hey, I don't know what's going on. I'm innocent. I don't know. I just go down there. I don't know anything about it.
I just tell ass jokes.
Yeah, I just go down there. I don't know. He never knows. I'm a hippie. I just go. Yeah, well,
I just wanted to play Atlantic City.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a hippie. I just smoke pot, man. Hey, I'm doing what I want to do.
I can't believe he wouldn't, if somebody came to him with a scheme like this, he wouldn't just say, look, if you want, Jack, I'd love to play Atlantic City, but I do my own thing.
No. He's sliding in there too. Sliding into home plate. Everybody with the 2850. And what do you guys do? You have to, you just get paid your fee, right, Jackie? You don't have to sit and split the gate with those guys, do you?
I just get paid what I get paid.
Right.
Regular price.
That's the Jackie depressed voice.
Yeah.
I just get paid what I wanted paid.
My regular
I'm very
bad move. Shouldn't have done it.
Dour today.
Well, it doesn't matter. Who cares what they do with Howard's name? It's all right. It's not yours. You don't have to worry about it. Well, who cares about the show and how it's presented?
I didn't care.
I don't care either. Hey, let's just get out there and see what happens. Everyone's like, 2850, you got to care a little bit more than hey, let's just see what happens.
You suckers, I got your money.
I got you. At one point, he told some guy, hey, F you, I got your money.
Hey, you bald bastard!
Yeah,
Laugh!
suckers!
Laugh, you bald bastard! Hey, what is that, a tumor or your head? Hey, come on, you want to start with me? You want to start? You people! You people!
F you!
F you!
That must be some show. F you.
F you, F you, and I don't know. There's all kind of anger going back and forth. People scream, F you.
Whatever.
Yeah, when it
Where
boils
did you
down to
learn
that.
that in comedy school? F
Yeah.
you.
Gary evidently came out after John and said, hey, everyone, how'd you like John? And people started booing. I mean, I heard,
And Gary said to you it went fine?
Yeah. He did, oh, yeah, everything's, well, Gary doesn't want to get me upset. I know that. Well, how clear is Gary? Gary's pacing backstage, telling his mother he's fine. I'm fine. Okay, I'm ready.
And what's his mother doing there anyway?
I don't know. And what is his mother doing on stage? What is that? What is that supposed to be?
How did she
Was Gary
to
become a
that?
superstar? I don't know. Now she's in on the act.
I would love to know.
I think that's an outgrowth of my mother being on the air. Now
right,
Gary's
and I would
mother
love
comes
to know
out.
the planning. Because somebody did sit down and do whatever they could for this show.
Someone in the audience described it as everyone coming out and thinking they're me. Oh. And it's a nightmare. I don't care. No one cares. I got paid. F you, suckers.
You're the suckers. I got the money.
Great.
We got your money.
Another stellar evening for the Howard Stern Show. Friends of the Howard Stern Show. And Fafa Fooey did this all behind my back till I found out about it. I didn't know anything about it. Fafa Fooey plotting my career for me behind my back.
Plunky.
He was like, hey, boss, what's the big deal? I don't see, it was just going out there and having some fun. We thought we'd all appear together and go around a 6-city tour.
So did John's manager talk to Gary's manager?
I don't know. I don't know how it was coordinated. Well, I know Jackie's manager, Nancy, his wife, and I know John. I met once some intern that became John's manager. I've never met Gary's manager. I think it's Ross or some. I don't know who it is. I don't know who his manager is. But somebody dreamed this thing up. The dream team thought this up for me. Did me a favor.
Did they approach you, Fred?
No.
No, Fred's the only one who would actually come to me and say, hey, listen, something weird's going
So
on.
they must have kept Fred out.
Yeah. They'd keep Fred out because Fred's not a nuisance. Hey, man, we might as well cash in. Hey.
I've been cashing in since the beginning. They just caught on.
Right.
Ow, ow.
Oh.
Ow, ow.
Oh, ow.
Ow, ow. Ow, ow.
Where's Gary? Hey, Gary, what are you doing to me? Want to explain the game plan? Tell me tell me what's coming up in the future so I know.
Well, Gary has a son. He now has to put through college.
Oh, I see. So he's going to make every element of the show unfunny?
It is, milk it now.
How sick am I of you?
Pretty.
Yeah, I've just about had it.
The answer is there are no other shows.
Right.
This was just supposed to be John's band opening up for Jackie with me
Right.
emceeing. It wasn't supposed to. It's not a whole big thing.
Yeah, I'm going to break up the Three Stooges. How's that?
It's been broken up.
Good. Good. I got to be the dick.
I genuinely didn't know that it was wrong, and once I was told it was wrong, that was it.
Yeah, but
I didn't.
you've got to start thinking.
But I didn't go behind your back. I don't.
How many more elements of it? Where's Stuttering John?
I just don't want you
Where
to
is
feel-
he? Where is
he's
that?
in the office.
Yeah, where is he? Come in here, you little nitwit.
I just don't want you to feel that anybody went behind your back.
No, nobody went behind my back. I just read about it in the newspaper.
Yeah, but I plead ignorance more than being malicious.
Well, that's at some point you got to stop being ignorant. You're a grown man. You're the father of a child.
There's a guy on the phone who wants to give
How much can you use me? How much? Are you done using me for the week?
I've been playing in the band for 4 years.
Yeah, I know you've been playing in the band for 4 years. Yeah, and when you see friends of the Howard Stern Show, you just jump on too, right? Jump on the bandwagon.
I got to be honest with you.
I saw you on Ricky Lake. You're real funny. I saw you on Ricky Lake. What was that? You don't care how you're embarrassed, do you? You want to just be on fun. You think you're a funny guy, don't you? Do you think you're funny? Answer me, yes or no.
Sometimes, yes.
You think you're funny?
Sometimes.
All right. You are now fired. Go out and be funny on your own. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. I'm tired of taking you and resurrecting you every 10 minutes.
Howard, as far as this band thing goes, you know I've been doing gigs for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I've been playing.
So go play gigs.
I know that's what
Whoever stopped you?
I knew it was a bad idea.
Did I encourage you? Did I tell you to do it?
It was set up for...
You knew it was a bad idea, so why'd you do it?
Do what? I had to at that point.
No, I see. You had to.
No.
Who told you to go do it?
No, I'm talking about at Atlantic City.
Okay.
I looked at it. It was a comedy club.
Okay. You know what I mean? All right. Very good. Good job. Well, I'm glad you had so much planning.
I don't want anybody to think that I'm hiding anything. So there's a guy who called through, wants to give his review of the show.
No, I'm going to give my reviews now.
And I would never not let it put him through.
Hello, you're on the air. Were you there?
Yes.
You were at the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What happened?
I was backstage with you guys for a little while. I was with my girl, Juliana, tall guy.
No. That's the phone call I want. I want to talk to this guy, if you don't mind.
How you doing?
Yes.
Who's this, Gary?
No, it's Howard.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah, you were on the show. Yeah.
I was at the show. But
yeah. And what happened?
That was a good show.
You had a good time?
Jackie was funny, yeah.
Yeah, Jackie was funny.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a more show than Jackie, though, wasn't there?
Excuse me?
Was there more show than Jackie?
Yeah, Sutter and John blew my ears right out the water.
See, I didn't know it was so loud either. Nobody told me. I wish they would have told me.
Nobody's allowed to tell anybody anything.
But I wish they would.
Evidently, you're too big a star.
No, I wish Jackie would have told me it was too loud.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm here.
What happened?
All right. I saw Jackie walk up in the beginning with his bag of stuff, and he's kissing these two ladies like he owns the friggin' place. I mean, it was out of my mind. Then you have John who goes on. John was good. John was really good. He played for a while, He's working his way up. He was pretty good. You have Jackie come out there. He was ticked off at the audience. He's sitting out there yelling, screaming, heckling, and then he would give a heckler a lot of stuff, and then he would sit there and say, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry." Why is he apologizing to hecklers? I mean,
I don't know anything about it. Listen. You know what? I don't want to hear. You know what? This is a bad idea. Taking the reviews.
Oh,
I don't want to know
man.
anything about it. I just don't want. I'm tired. I'm exhausted from the nonsense.
You should definitely check out one of these shows.
All right. No, it's okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Howard.
Right.
And Howard,
checking out anything.
Anything I ever do, I always check with you. I don't.
Yeah, sure you do, John.
No, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Did you check with me on Ricky Lake?
No. I mean, No. You
Oh.
gave me some guidelines that I had to follow, and I did.
Right, you're doing a good job.
I don't show any clips.
You're completely unfunny to me now. That's what you are.
Well, Howard,
You've ruined it for me.
Well, I'm sorry.
You're not funny anymore.
I haven't done anything.
You go on so many bad shows and you present yourself so unfunny.
Well, what show are you talking about?
Name it.
I mean,
you go on Ricky Lake. They make you a judge. You look like a retard.
I was there to promote the show.
You're not funny. But don't you ask them how they're going to present you?
Yeah, they said I was going to be a judge. So,
yeah. And what does that mean, be a judge?
Just
so Ricky Lake could ignore you and you're sitting there looking goofy?
I didn't even see it. So
go
I
out of here. Goodbye. You didn't watch what you did?
No, I didn't watch the show.
That's good. That's good.
You didn't even want to watch it.
You didn't even want to see it. It was so bad.
But anyway, I always,
present yourself if you present yourself unfunny enough times, I don't even think you're funny.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it because I ain't doing anything.
No, it's not the point. It's not ain't doing anything. But when you do something, put some thought into it. Thank you. That's all I want to talk about. Gary, you should know to put some thought into it. You're going to go out there and yell into a microphone for 5 seconds?
I really thought all I was there to do was introduce these guys.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much all I did.
I don't know who put this together. Who put this together? Who put this thing together?
The truth?
Yeah.
Ron Delsner.
Ron Delsner. Oh, Ron Delsner. Is that the same Ron Delsner who's been trying to get me to play the Coliseum for years? So I guess he figured out, hey, I know what I'll do. I'll just take all of Howard Stern's guys. You think Ron Delsner cares how you guys come off? Do you think he cares?
Now we know.
Does he care about your job and about how funny you are?
After the other night, we know he doesn't care.
Yeah, if you're not funny, and then there's a fiasco. My audience is charged $28.50 for some nonsense. Who the hell is Ron Delsner? He's going to tell you how to be funny? Gary, presenting you in a funny way is not the easiest job in the world, you know.
I know.
You're not a funny guy.
I know that.
And when you get out on stage with your mom, you're not funny. I don't know. What am I going to tell you? This is what goes on. It's nonsense. And nobody puts any thought into it. And the next thing I know, I got a Friends of the Howard Stern Show tour, Ron Delsner. And I didn't even know Ron Delsner was involved. Ron Delsner. Who is he? Suddenly he's in charge of my name now. The Howard Stern Show. I tell you something. I'm cursed. I'm too nice a effing guy. Let me tell you something. If there was going to be a Friends of the Howard Stern Show tour on any other radio show, you would have bet they checked in. You know Imus, what a skunk he is? You think that his crew over there would put together a Friends of the Imus show without checking with him? No, because he'd fire the whole damn lot of them. You're lucky I'm such a sap. You guys are all lucky I'm a sap. I got a soft spot in my heart for retards. Ashkivoses. Goodbye. I tell you, Friends of the Howard Stern. Goodbye, guys. So long. I'll see you in November. Watch me. I'm going to go back. I'm going to be like Rush Limbaugh. I'm going to talk in my own microphone. I don't need friends. Friends of the Howard Stern Show. I'll be the only friend of the show. If they want to do if Ron Delson wants to do a tour, Friends of the Howard Stern Show, the only friend they're going to have is me. Watch me.
Won't be able to exploit you anymore.
These guys don't think I could do a show on my own. What do you think I was doing my whole life? Picking my ass with a feather?
You do create monsters.
I create monsters. I created a monster. I got superstars that all work for me. Stuttering John, Gary Delabate.
Well, it seems that Stuttering John really thinks that he is Stuttering John.
Yeah, he's become the entity known as Stuttering John. And I don't know what he's out there doing. I just turn on the TV and see one bad appearance after another. And then my joke man is up there, 20 hours of John and then the joke man. How are you being presented? I don't know what's going on over there.
Is he run out of management too? His management.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The only balls Jackie busts are mine.
Yeah. He can't even deal with Stuttering John. I'm shocked.
Because Jackie doesn't want to be a bad guy.
Not to them.
No.
He has to keep the group together so he can make them all upset with you.
Them 10 times I gave.
Keep following Jackie. You'll do well, guys. You'll be out of here. You'll be out of here. Right, Jackie?
You're always right.
I am right. I know I'm right. All I know is Ron Delzer. I don't know. I've never heard Ron Delzer's name before. It's Ron Delzer Dream Team. Friends of the. How much did Ron? I want to know how much money Ron Delzer made ripping my audience off. Somebody give me a tally, will you? Just give me a ballpark on that. How much did Delsner get? All these guys who try to do business with me, they always find the back door into my life somehow. They always manage to do it to me with the help of Baba Booey. Baba Booey, my dream team back there. It's Baba Booey and Stuttering John. I got to take a break. Don't ever bring this up to me again. I don't want to hear about it.
I'm being quiet.
Thank you. I know there's something you want to say.
I'm being quiet.
Why don't you say it? Go ahead. Don't let these guys intimidate you.
I don't know how somebody of the caliber of a Ron Delzner calls somebody in this organization
and puts together.
And nobody tells you
tell me
Ron
about it.
Delzner is calling.
Right. And did you hear Gary? Gary the Deep Throat. Well, to tell you the truth, it was Ron Delzner who put up the money. Oh. I see.
I just don't know how that happens.
Yeah.
These are people you do business with.
Gary wheels and deals off my name.
These are your people.
Yeah. Well, come November, I'm clearing house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stage it. It's going to go down easy, too. I'm going to be a good guy about it. Oh, I'm leaving radio. I don't know. And then I'll be off the air for like 3 weeks. And then when I come back on, it'll be a different kind of radio show. You'll see how I do it. I'll end up being the good guy.
Who does Gary think he's supposed to come to you about?
He comes to me about nothing. Now, all of a sudden, he started coming to me. Before, he was wheeling dealing on his own. There's always a scheme going on back there. How to dupe Howard. We're going to do a 6 cities tour backed up by Ron Delzner, Friends of the Howard Stern Show. We're going to put no thought into it and see how much money we can get for it.
Ron's running the show.
Right.
When did Ron start writing and producing?
I don't know. I don't know. But evidently I'm tied in with Ron Delzner. Yeah. All right, I got to take a break. Sorry for the nervous breakdown on the air.